Just how I wanna live. Just how I wanna live. How I wanna live. Just how I wanna live. How I wanna live. Just how I wanna live. How I wanna live.
What's happening, y'all? We are back again for another episode of Young, Black,
and Widowed.
I'm your boy Shar.
I'm Chanel.
It's Angelo the Great.
And today we got an episode talking about grief, but not just grief, but grief looks sexy on you. So
Ooh, he got it sexy.
I know that topic sounds kind of weird, but it's a real thing. So
yeah.
Grief looks sexy on you. So today we want to discuss a little bit about how when a person loses their significant other and you start to receive people asking you to go out on dates, or pretty much people just trying to holler at you, and this, the era today, everything is on social media. So what we've experienced is just a lot of social media direct messages and stuff like that. So we just kind of want to talk a little bit about what makes grief look good to a person. What makes a person say, okay, their significant other just died, like I think I want to holler at them, or that person is, that's a good man, or that's a good woman. Just from our standpoint, well, we wonder what about that situation makes another person kind of intrigued or interested in that. I know myself, I've had females that's heard my story, and then later on they'll just say how intrigued they are by me or something like that, and it's like, what is it? Is it is it because of the bags under my eyes because I'm stressed out, or is it the tears that run down? Is it do I got an ugly cry that you like? Because I mean me, I was all over the social network crying when my wife passed. I'm like, is it the ugly cry that you like? What is it that has you attracted to me in my grief? So the first thing is how long, I'm gonna ask you, Chanel, how long was it you think before someone actually tried to, I guess, holler at you or shoot their shot, after your significant other passed?
I'd say legitimately maybe after the first couple of weeks, maybe about 2 weeks or so, after the funeral and stuff was over, just because I remember people sending the "I'm here for you" messages, and it's people that I haven't either A, heard from in years,
right,
or B, they're married to somebody that I might know. And it just was real weird. And it happened after the first couple weeks. Call me if you need me.
Oh, that's
I'm
the big
here
one.
For you.
Yeah. Like random people. I had people that I didn't even know come out the blue on my inbox. Here's my number. Call me if you need to talk. And I'm like, I don't know you like that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know you, so what we gonna talk about, really?
Right,
It's crazy. What about you?
Yes, I think it was when I noticed it, maybe 2 months, but I think it happened before that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But at 2 months, it was one particular person was very blatant. It was like, yo, I know you got needs.
What? That was blatant.
Needs. So hit me up.
Right.
Whoa. So that's when they really okay. And then I think I started recognizing certain things that y'all saying that other people had said before that, call me if you need me. If you need me to cook you something or bring something.
The old dinner.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? And then I heard rumblings from other people oh yeah, people trying to get at you, right? And I'm like, they are? Right. It's yeah, because I've heard people tell me that they want to make you stuff or come over there, and I'm like, oh, this is a whole new thing. So yeah, man, I think 2 months when I noticed it, but it probably happened for real, around that two week mark, like you said, it's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing with me. It seemed like it was real quick, in a couple of weeks or so. But yeah, it's always with me, it was always disguised. Again, do you need me to cook you anything? Call me if you need to talk. Then that started changing to you want to maybe go to dinner or sometime like that. I'm like, but I don't know you.
Yeah, right.
I don't know you like that.
Right.
So it's it was weird, you know what I'm saying? And then it seemed like it started coming from people that actually knew my wife, you know what I'm saying? And that really was, it really kind of made me kind of angry, you know what I'm saying? What to see that, I'm like, well, dang, you know, and they didn't necessarily have to be like her best friends or something like that, but you know, in my, you know, I still had, and you know, to this day, that sense of loyalty, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you knew her, you know what I'm saying, not just, you know, seen her or something like that, but if you sat in her chair at the salon, or you know actually knew her in some aspect of where y'all had conversation and stuff like that, to me it was like, nah, that ain't, you know, that ain't right, you know what I'm saying? But it's, to me, it gave me a whole nother look at just some women. I was like, man, some women are savage, boy. I thought we were savages, but I'm like, man, some women are like really savage when it came to that. But like, you know, Chanel, from a female standpoint, like, were we as aggressive?
Slide
You
in the
know,
inbox.
no, I don't. Yeah, because when y'all saying people cooking for you and stuff, no, they wasn't doing that. It was more of the call me if you need to talk. I'll be here for you kind of situation. Or do you want to go to dinner, you know, to get your mind off of it. And then, like, even some of my exes hit me up. And the first thing they immediately wanted to know was, like, how is my daughter doing, too? And I'm like, oh, now you're doing way too much. So,
they trying to jump right in and get close. Look, I ain't gonna do what the rest of them doing. I'm gonna ask her.
I'm gonna ask some different gate.
It's like a family. Yep.
Right.
Go jump straight to the family.
They don't offer to do no handiwork or nothing around that. Like, oh, you need a door fixed,
plumbing or anything.
Yeah, I did have people offer to do a little bit of handiwork.
I'm sure they did.
But you gotta stay woke.
Yeah. Right. You gotta stay awake.
And I'll say the crazy thing about me is, you know, it's the people around you too.
Yeah.
Like, I know my husband's best friend, he stayed with me a long time, and I really appreciate that. Like, I'll never forget it. Just because, like, he was like the next person after my husband. My husband was extremely close to him, and he was like there for us for the first couple of months. But you know, like, neighbors and stuff automatically assume, oh, now she dating the best friend. Immediately, she ain't even married her. I'm like, really? Like, it's not even like that. Like, the relationship was not like that at all. It's some other people that's around, you know, me in different places that should be a concern. Or some of the people that were concerned about who was in my bed was the people that were really wanting to be there. Or be in that place. So, yeah, which is crazy to me, because I'm like, if you took a drink with my husband, if you sat down and y'all could chill out and, you know, drink and talk and laugh, then you shouldn't be trying to be with me.
For sure. Right. Yeah, I never experienced that part. Now, that's the part that y'all told me about that I never had, like, somebody that knew her try to get at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's fun. That whole thing just blows my mind, really, because it's like, she ain't play that. Like, Jazz didn't play that. So they probably know that she would stab them. You know what I mean? Right. She will hunt them. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like Sean would too, though.
I feel like she would too.
Sean definitely would.
100%. Yeah.
She definitely would. Like, they still might be in trouble. Like, they might be in trouble in the afterlife. Right. Like, you think I thought I forgot?
Right. And Jazz might be helping her.
Right. So, you mentioned the exes, like, the ex is trying to come back, and it's like, I wonder, like, what was the mind state? Okay, like, here's another chance. This person is out. Let me try to come back in. I just really be wondering, like, what people are thinking. You know what I'm saying? Especially an ex is like, Are you looking at it as an opportunity? And that's my thing. Like, when I feel like, okay, you just trying to take, you know, trying to grab a hold of the opportunity. You don't really care, you know, really what I'm going through. You just want to seize the opportunity and try to work your way back in.
I guess it depends on who it is, because I know, like, for me, like, some in particular, a person in particular, I don't think it was more about the opportunity. I think it was more about the fact of they knew what they had missed. you know, for so long because we were in a closer relationship.
Right.
And then, you know, they did things that made me not be able to trust them. So
Yeah.
then I had to kind of, you know, go a different way. So, yeah.
Wow.
What
What are
about
you
you,
doing?
Angela? What about you?
What about me in particular? What do you mean?
Huh? Talk about some of your, did any of
The
your
exes?
exes try to get at you?
I can only think of one ex. I think that tried, and I think honestly for her, I think the more I think about it, I think she just thought she was next. I think she thought like, okay, if this didn't work out, then he probably should come back this way.
Yeah, because then it seems like it's a safe place.
Yeah.
Because you've been there before.
Yeah. And that was the part that kind of tripped me out, like, cause she didn't reach out immediately, but when I did hear from her, I think I had blocked her actually.
Right.
I think I didn't realize that.
Oh.
So sorry again. I didn't realize it until
I realized last time.
I didn't realize it until I saw her somewhere.
Blocked you by mistake. My
Saw her
bad.
somewhere, and we were talking. I'm like, oh, I think
My
I
wife
did
made me do it.
block it. Yeah. So I think I did block her, but there's like conversations with her, and another one too was like kind of like, I feel like you think that. Like, I'm ready to jump back in with you. You know what I mean? When I'm not really even thinking about that at all. Like, you know, I'm chilling.
Right.
I'm chilling. Yeah, so that's crazy.
Kind of the same thing with me. And then, like, when I first felt like I noticed it is when I talked about going to kick it with another female. Then they kind of, like, low-key say something but be joking. But, like, you know, you serious. And it's like, you know, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I know you don't think nothing about it happened with us. Like I'm saying, I mean, we friends, you know what I'm saying? We done been there and done that. But it's I guess it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Again, just wondering what the mind state is. And, you know, I wish we could have had somebody here, but maybe, you know, we can get somebody to send in, you know, some, whatever your comments are, what you think. If you've been on the other end, you know, somebody that lost somebody that you was interested in, just to kind of give us an idea of the thought process, you know, in that situation. Because I know a lot of what I felt like, especially when there's people that knew or that people that seen your relationship, you know, because again, with social network, people see a lot.
Yeah.
People that seen your relationship or seen how your significant other talked about you, and it's like, you know, are they feeling like, okay, well, I want to have what they had, you know what I'm saying? Is that the thought process? Okay, you know, the way their relationship was, you know, he was, you know, she always talked about him, he was a good man, so I want to have that too. Because I can't find a good man, so here's one that's available, you know, I want to have that too.
Yeah. Especially with you both with, you know, not having 20 kids and all that, you know, and actually being married, so actually being the men that wanted to commit, so I can see that definitely. The family pictures, all that stuff, and then people are trying to replace it with their photo.
I mean, I had people definitely say, you know, I love the way that you show your wife so much love and how you honor her and stuff like that. And at the time, I'm a little naive sometimes when it comes to that stuff, so I was like, oh, you know, thank you. But like later, I'm like realizing like, okay, but you saying that, but you sending other messages too. You know, like it's not just the only thing you saying, letting it be that. It's like, oh, you're really saying that because you want to make this something. Like I'm going to talk about you that way. But like I had awareness. You know what I mean? After a little bit, but at first I just think everybody's just saying, you know, condolences or whatever.
Yeah, and then we so hung up in the grief in itself and still in shock and not really realizing all this is happening. So even with the messages, for me, it's just like, oh, thanks. But then later it's like, oh my gosh, are you for real?
Yeah,
like,
you trying something.
Yeah.
And that's how I realized it was a thing. Like I didn't know it was a thing too. That people like go like hunting for people that do this. You know what I mean? My mom was telling me a story how like women she knew when she was like younger or whatever would literally like get the obituary and look and see people that had passed away, like who husbands whose wives had passed away, and like make a list of to contact them. Like,
I heard something like that too.
And I heard it has something to do with finances as well.
Right.
Oh, what's the finance part of it?
Like if you got any money from insurance.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, it's terrible, but it makes sense. It makes sense why they would do it. Yeah.
Or if the person was a veteran, that kind of stuff.
That's wild. That's wild, yo. Yeah.
People,
for that to be a thing, like, oh yeah, so John over here lost his wife yesterday.
Let me bake that cake.
Yeah,
send it over.
Yeah, let me send that. That's crazy.
So with that, you know, moving right along to where, you know, we start handling the grief better and we start opening up a little more, you know, and it's still happening. At what point, I guess, do y'all feel it changed for y'all to the point to where, okay, it's still happening, but now I'm kind of opening up to kind of, okay, let me see what this person's talking about. Mm-hmm. Did the feelings change? Like, did it go from feeling like, yo, you know, what you doing this for, to like feeling, I guess, flattered, I guess, by it happening? Did it ever get to that point for either of y'all?
Me first, yeah. I mean, they both looking at me.
I mean, you get the most. You know,
I
so.
mean, we're not gonna do that.
You get the most. So
that is totally inaccurate. Come on, he looks like such a good man, Mr. Sharp.
I think we should
come on, Thanos over here. Thanos over here.
Let's pull the DMs out.
We gonna compare.
Let's pull the DMs out and see. Yeah, look. You don't want to do that.
I mean, it definitely you stupid. It definitely, you know, feels good after a while, right? So you know, when everything happens, you feel very low, and you feel like, you know, you can't really go on, and so so that's really, you know, a tough period. And then when it's like, okay, I realize now I gotta move on a little bit, so, or at least move forward, not move on, but move forward. So it's like when they show you that attention, it's kind of like, oh, this is refreshing. You know what I mean? Because you kind of feel like you're undesirable, like. I know I feel like it was like a big X on my forehead or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a widower now, so like, who's gonna want somebody that was married to somebody else? That, and it wasn't like we ended it like a divorce or anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So technically, I'm still married.
And that's how it feels. Yeah, it feels like you're still connected to that person.
100%.
And you feel obligated that you have to tell people that in the beginning. Like when I first started opening up to dating, you know, first of all, I realized that everybody was doing it on the dating sites versus, you know, going to the party or something and meeting John. Yeah. But anyway, so one of the things that I realized is, you know, it's just kind of different, real different. But one of the things, like in your summary, I always felt like I needed to say I'm a widow. Right. So that's X on your chest, like that's the thing on your forehead. That's the thing that I feel like I carry the big W everywhere I go. And I just recently started feeling like you don't have to tell your story to everybody. Like everybody does not have to know. So I'm slowly learning that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess me personally, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because I know I do tell the story. Like, I don't know. What about you? Like, do you feel like you, because, I don't know why I tell it. You know what I'm saying? I guess I just feel like that they need to know regardless. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to know, because I got this whole life that I had, you know what I'm saying? I was actually a husband, you know what I'm saying? And I done lived this life, and I don't know why I feel like I just have to tell. I never felt like I don't want this person to know. Like, I just always.
No, I always told too, but that's the thing. Like, it's like a label. Like, you have to, you know, when the dating sites, they ask you questions like, you know, what's your size? Are you average? You know, are you, you know, what's your status? I'm widowed. Like, when I used to get some messages in my inbox, like I said, I would immediately start after the hello, my name is. I am this. When they say, tell me about yourself, oh, you shouldn't have asked me that. So now I'm telling that I have a daughter, that I am widowed. I just lost my husband, you know, a certain amount of time. And from there, you know, sometimes I would get no response. And sometimes I would get like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then I've even gotten, what did you do? Like, to make it seem like I did something, you know, like I hurt him or something like that. Yeah,
that's
like, people
crazy.
are crazy. Yeah, I've gotten that too. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. I know one particular incident. I won't say incident. That makes it sound like a thing. But situation. I was chatting with this person, and it was some time after. And I don't really remember the full conversation, but I know, like, she was throwing me a lot of energy. We had been chatting before, and then like I saw her in person. So we was throwing a lot of energy, you know. My friends were around. I was like, oh, you know, she's like she really feeling you, right, or whatever. So then, like later that night, we're having a conversation, and in the midst of it is like she's saying something different now. Like it's like, you know, I love the way that she showed love for your wife on, you know, Facebook or whatever. I don't know if I could, you know, date somebody that was, you know, like, you know, that was a widower, because I feel like it'd be comparison. And that's how I explained, like, no, it wouldn't be like that, you know, whatever. But then, like, the next time we spoke via text, it was like, yeah, you know, I'm glad you understand that we're not be able to do anything further than this because of that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't understand that, because the last time we spoke, it seemed like it was different. You know what I mean? So it was like, but that was the reason. It was just because of that. Yeah. Because that was something. And she was like, I usually celebrate black love, but something about you showing love to her, it just makes me feel a certain way. And I was just like, dang, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm not gonna not do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna honor her. I'm gonna show love to my wife. So like, okay, I guess it is what it is. So that surprised me. Yeah. I hadn't had it like until that point. Yeah. That really shocked me a little bit.
I guess I haven't really ran into anything like that. I guess I always, for some people, I expected it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were those that would be in a DM, but then it would be those that didn't do that, and I would automatically like feel like, well, maybe this is why. You know what I'm saying? Because how much I talk about my wife and my love for her and stuff like that, and I would just kind of tell myself, like, you know, nobody's gonna want to hear that and deal with that on a daily basis or however. So I always thought that I was gonna be a turn off anyway. I wasn't gonna compromise it, but I just felt like, yo, this is what it is. Like, you know, you say you cool with it now, but you know, later on it's gonna start being an issue. So yeah, that the whole situation, I guess, is just different. I really, like I said, I really hope somebody, you know, drops some comments if they've been the one that, you know, to reach out to someone, or, you know, try to build some sort of a relationship to someone that had just lost a spouse, to kind of hear that side of the story and everything. Yeah. So yeah, with those type of emotions, just kind of going on in your head, just looking like, you know, feeling like you have that label, it kind of makes it hard to, you know, start dating or something like that, because again, you got all these mixed emotions, and of course, you know, as men, you know what I'm saying, we have, you know, certain needs. I know women have needs too, but at the same time, we look into, is it worth the emotional strain? Because again, we still feel some sense of loyalty to our significant other, so it makes dating a little hard. So just kind of stepping over into that realm, what are some of the things, I guess, you guys seen or felt to let you know, okay, I think it's time for me to just at least, you know, start dating someone, start like, you know, allowing someone to take up a little bit of that space, you know, that you had with your significant other. Either one of y'all wanna?
Well, first of all, one of the things I was going to say when it comes, since we're on the dating side, is, I don't know about you guys, but one of the things that was really hard for me is that people automatically assume that when your spouse passes away, like, you need to not be dating for years and years and years, because, you know, old people that die, they never remarry or they never do anything. And so, being that I'm probably the youngest in my family, or around my age, to have somebody pass away so quickly, you know, I didn't have anybody to follow or guide me. It was more of their suggestions based off of what they've seen on the Hallmark Channel. And typically, the average widow is the age 55 or up. So, when it comes to dating, you know, they immediately thought, oh no, that's bad. You should not date. And then of course, then you have the protective people, the ones that are very protective of you and just feel like whoever you're going to try to date right now is going to take advantage of you.
Right.
And so those were some of the scenarios with, even when it came to my people, like my close folks, in trying to deal with it. Because, you know, it's already hard to understand, especially like when we were married for 7 years, and so whenever I'm like, well, how do you even meet people? And they're like, online.
Yeah, oh yeah, the dating scene is so crazy now. Like, I agree with that 100%. So like when they were talking about like dating, and people would like suggest people to me, oh, I know this person in my church.
Yeah,
she's a virtuous woman.
Right.
Saying all these things, like all this, you know, other language or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they were talking about dating apps. And I'm like, Bumble, what's a Bumble? And Tinder, I heard of Tinder with coffee and donuts and whatever these other ones. Yeah, what all these other ones are. I'm like, I don't even know like how to do that. And I felt kind of like super old because like, I'm not that old. I should know what these things are. But I had no idea, even like the concept of some of that stuff.
Right,
and it was like overwhelming a little bit, you know. Like, so I make a picture and I put everything on there, and then they gonna just swipe on me. That's it. We don't do nothing else. That's all we do in this app.
Right,
like,
and then people are killing folks. Like we gonna meet them.
We supposed to meet them out somewhere.
So.
I never tried the date. I think Chanel, you were the one who told me about. Yeah, I never tried it.
Good for
you. I'm old school. Like I never tried. I'm like, I'm not about to get on no dating site.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never went on there and actually did it. But So
I
like you
had some fun times on a dating site.
Yeah, I was on there real quick, but like it wasn't. I just did it just to do it. They was like, "Oh, you should get on this." All right, cool. I'll get on it.
And at first, I was gonna say that's what it was for me. Like it was just something to keep me busy, something to do. But yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all on there playing with people's hearts and stuff.
They
playing with people's hearts on there. It was just something to do. It was just something. Oh, I like you, Sai. I don't like you.
I mean, for me, none of those things turned into anything. None of the matches, like nothing happened. Like we never went on a date. And it's probably my fault because I never really pursued that. And
I wonder if that's the man versus woman thing, because think about it. When you think of outside the realm of, when you're thinking about dating, from a male perspective, you guys are going to go out, mingle, and try to talk to people and try to get, get their number or whatever if you like them.
Right.
Whereas I'm a woman, I'm not going to take charge like that. So it's easier for me to text out my feelings or send a message and kind of feel them out first before I waste my time on a date. And so some of them were very unsuccessful. Some of them were successful. The most important one was successful. But we'll get into that on another topic, another day. Whatever.
That low-key plug right now. The important one was successful. Yes. The most important one.
Talk your talk, girl. Talk your talk. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, but I don't think, the funny thing, I just thought about this. I don't think I ever said on any of those dating apps, whenever I did use them, I don't think I ever mentioned being a widower.
Oh, wow.
That was always my story.
Because it never came, like, to me, I guess I didn't want to, like, bring that up unless the conversation warranted it.
It was like the very beginning for me.
That's what you always lead with
that? Yeah. That's why I was saying I felt so obligated that people needed to know that up front about me. Like, did you read my profile? Because, some people aren't comfortable with it.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
And then for a while, I still wore my wife's ring for a while.
Me too.
Yep, I did too. And then my husband was cremated, so I used to wear his ashes around my neck. And then on top of that, I know my friends were always worried when I told them I was going to get a tattoo because they were worried about me getting his name. And so my tattoo has his initials, and it has a heart with beat because I always put that my heart beats for RB. So everybody was like relieved that it wasn't his name. Like, what if you find somebody else? And I'm like, well, I will hope that person will understand. And Sharna, you have a tattoo.
Yeah, I got my whole wife.
Big tattoo.
Yeah, I got her face and everything up there. So that's just what it is. Because when she was taken or when she passed, again, we were good, and she, and we were one, and she was a part of me. So, me getting her, whether I got the tattoo of her face or not, she's gonna always be a part of me because
Right.
she played a huge part in my life and my growth as a man. Because
Yeah.
whatever a woman is getting now is a result of what she helped mold.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you should be thankful because I was a totally different dude before I met,
Right.
my wife. So it's like she helped make me what I am now. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't. If somebody have a problem with it, I mean, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to deal with me. So when I did that, I knew what it was. And the crazy part is like we be hesitant about that stuff when people are still alive. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I know she had a tattoo of my middle name on her, and again, I just never thought about it, to getting a tattoo of her. It's like she never asked me to. I never thought about it. But when she passed, it's just like, you have that feeling like with me, it was like I just wanted to do that. I wanted to have her there. And then just with the other situations I got going on with my daughter, it's like I just felt like I needed that because that was another way that I like to express myself as well, because all my tattoos mean something.
Me too.
So yeah, I mean, you get me, you getting her too, because again, we were one, and what you see here is a result of me being, her molding me into that king, into that husband. So so with the you was talking about friends and family and stuff like that, did you ever feel like was there any guilt when you first started dating? Like, what type of feelings did you feel like you were, I guess, cheating on your significant other, or did you have any other like bad feelings or guilt toward their family and stuff like that, or shame or any type of feelings?
More guilt and shame, probably because, being vulnerable and just wanting to have that person, but then also frustrated because I felt like I've always been a person that made really good decisions, and so I was kind of offended by some of the comments that people would say, or some of the opinions that they would have. Nonetheless, you've never been in my shoes, so you don't know how I feel. You don't know what I should be doing. As long as my daughter is good and we're okay, then that's not for you to say. Like, and at the end of the day, sometimes we have to make our own mistakes or our own choices, and if it comes out bad, then okay, we learn from it as an adult. So no, not. I felt probably ashamed a little and a little guilty. But then I think I was also, what's the word, when you just feel like F everything and kind of do your own thing.
Oh,
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it's called,
F
except you don't
everything,
say F, you actually say it.
I was trying to be
I get it. Yeah, I get you.
That's what it is.
I don't even know if there's another way to say that other than just being that. Yeah.
Yeah, where
I
I would take pride, like I would leave. I would just like go away, and being around somebody at the time, it was pretty helpful with me in regards to just the drive, the ride, taking a walk on the wild side. I've been married all these years. I've always been a relationship person, so it's just a little different. But
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me as well, because you would think like when I was married, I say 5 years. She died a month before our 5th year anniversary. I felt I was settled down and everything, and there was not one point that I felt like I didn't want to be married. But yet, marriage is work and it's hard, and of course as men, what I'm saying, we're a different kind. So it's like we have temptations and all those different types of things, and men may get mad at me for saying this, but I know a lot of us, like, if we could just have it our way and do what we want and not being, be held accountable for it, we probably would. But when this situation happened, I wonder, like, if a lot of men be like, well, shoot, you got another slate. You can go back and do everything that you thought was over. But I didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was in a situation where I can go back and be the bachelor again, but it's like that part of me is like, I feel like it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm more like, I just want to settle down. I ain't got time for all the riff raff and all that. And it's like, it was weird because it's like, man, I don't even know. You know, I didn't go out and try to meet people and stuff like that. Like, if you went somewhere, if we didn't connect somewhere in some kind of circle, then I probably not gonna meet you because I just was just, you know, done with it. It was just nothing I had an urge to do. You know, what about y'all?
Yeah, I'd agree with basically what you're saying or what you said.
Yeah, like it just, I definitely felt the guilt. You know what I mean? Because it was like, I don't know. Like you were talking about, like the old men, like, you know, we growing up, widows and widowers, like really old people.
Yeah.
Right. So like I was thinking in my head, like, well, maybe I should just, you know, not do nothing and just be old and just be by myself. You know what I mean? Like part of me was just like, okay, maybe I should just, this is how it's supposed to be. Then the other part was like, that's not realistic.
Right.
And that's probably not what, you know, she would want me to do too.
Right.
You know, I still want to be a dad one day. You know what I mean? I still want to have a family and stuff like that. So to not do anything is not smart. That's not what I want to do. But I definitely had that guilt, and then it was a certain point. It's like, well, put yourself out here a little bit and just see what happens. You know what I mean? But I was like very cautious, you know, like about how that would happen and how that would go, and like what people would say about it, or how you gonna say you grieving your wife and you out here doing this or whatever. But the crazy thing is what you said too is like a part of it is kind of like I don't want to say liberated because it wasn't like I was enslaved or anything or I felt held down by my marriage. But when when like you're widowed, it's like a clean slate in a way. So it's like, oh, maybe I should just go out here and just do my thing. You know what I mean, for a while. And you know, because I don't necessarily have to not do anything. I can, you know, I could do whatever, right? And some people might judge me for it, but technically, I'm not, you know, in a marriage, like in the traditional sense of the word. So part of me did feel that way, but at the same time, it was like a battle, you know, because that's just not me. That's not my nature to do that.
Right.
So I think I did like kind of create semi-situationships. My friend calls me the king of situationships.
Man,
He's always called me that. Yeah, like
situationship got me in trouble.
Right. Man. I think so. I think I created situationships that resemble relationship because it's like I don't really want to be out here, but I don't really want to be down settled with you either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, but this is cool. This is comfortable. We can kick it or whatever. To a point where it's just like that just wasn't gonna make sense no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? For her and for me. So it's like, you know, hey, this is really just not what I'm feeling. I'm just not feeling this. But I respect you. Yeah. You know, you're a great person, but I don't really feeling that. So I just had to, you know, do what you had to do.
Yeah. And when you were talking about that just now, I don't know how I forgot about this, but I actually had somebody send me a message on Facebook. I had wrote like one of my messages to Rob, just telling him how I missed him and stuff. And the lady literally put on my thing, I think she was on a fake page, but she was just like, how do you miss him and you're already dating somebody, something. He's not your husband, you know. Like, like they went in on me, and I'm like, what in the world?
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Who are you? Where are you at?
Right. Where you at now?
You will not come on my sister like that.
Right. Oh, you know, my sister went off.
Oh,
yeah. It was crazy. Wild. Like, but that did happen
that's
to me.
Super wild, man.
But while you saying that, like, that's how I would feel. That's how I felt people felt about when they seen it. That person, whoever that was, just found a way to actually put it out there. Because that's how I felt people were thinking when they seen me. Because again, it's like, you know, and it's really the I would say the newer people that only knows you and your relationship.
Yeah.
Or the family of the spouse and stuff like that. So it's like that's all they know of you. They don't know the single you because they never encountered that person.
Right.
So when they start seeing you do things like a single person, just like, you know, me commenting on a female's picture or something like that, then you know, they giving you the side eye because, you know, you're not supposed to be that person. And they don't really realize like, okay, you know, this is who this person is. They are single now. You know, unfortunately they are in a situation to where they're no longer married with a person that's, you know, alive or that's there. So they are technically single at this point. And, you know, they are able to comment or post whatever they want to post if it has to do with the other sex or whatever they decide to do. And I think it's hard a lot of times for the people that don't know that side of you to kind of see that. So when you said that person actually posted that, that's how I would feel about some of the stuff I did. And it made it hard for me to really just talk about any of it in in the open like that, because I'll be fearing, okay, they think this and this and this, or I feel like they would fear that, like you said, you was just saying you felt this way about them, and now the love's gone, or now you don't love her anymore. You said you love her this and this and that. Now you don't feel that way anymore. And really, there's nothing. We don't really have to worry about that. Like, it's, but we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really
Worry
don't, because we know we know how we feel. You know what I'm saying? That's like, and we have the choice to be happy, or whatever that means. Whether it means in a relationship, whether that means we just out there, being a thought or something like that. It's like we have a thought. Yeah, we have the right to do that. You know what I'm saying? We actually have the right to do that. And again, just people just don't understand it.
Yeah. That just made me think of something funny. Have y'all heard of the wid-hoe phase?
No,
I did.
So they say like
that's gonna be that's gonna be another subject on the show. I'm gonna get some more details after the show from Angelo, and that's gonna be another subject.
I'll at least preface it since I brought it up. But basically, they say that there's a stage. I'm not saying this is accurate.
Look,
but what they say.
Look, see.
What they say that widows go through a whole phase, like it's a phase where you're out there pursuing other people, not necessarily sex, but something abnormal to what you normally would do, like in terms of reaching out to people romantically or whatever. So
all right, all
some
the
people it is.
Send us an email on some comments on some experiences.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know when you feel it coming on? Is it like when you turn into a werewolf or something? It's like a full moon. I don't know if I haven't went through it yet. I just want to know if I feel it coming on. I haven't heard.
I don't know if everybody go through it.
What happens?
I don't think I have, but like I just thought it was funny when they said that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, wid-hoe, the documentary, is going to be coming out soon. We're going to be working on that. Star. He will be the star.
Yes,
Sure, the star.
Wid-hoe.
But so we're in a I won't say the name of the group, but there's a widow group on Facebook.
Wid-hoe. It's called Wid-hoe.
We're gonna start the widow group.
I want no parts.
There's a Facebook group that we're in, and some people, like, I don't know if y'all ever saw this. There was a status of a woman. I think she wrote a book now, but she was like 2 weeks after, like her husband died or whatever. Like she was like out there, like like with people like every night, whatever, as her way to cope. So instead of, and I'm not saying that's okay, but like some people go to alcohol, they go to other things, or they go to whatever. That was her mechanism to deal with stuff too. You know what I mean? So I think it's just interesting.
That's her way. That's her
right. Yeah. I think as long as you don't do anything that puts you in danger. So I guess technically, you could be in danger of diseases or whatever. But hopefully she protected herself. But I remember her saying in a status like she felt like she was powerless, and sex was the only thing she could do to feel like she had some kind of power over something. She had power over her body. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was interesting. We were kind of on the subject of widows, so I just thought that was interesting of that.
And now that you've mentioned it, I've had a couple of people. Well, one, I'm thinking about a few people that mentioned that too. So and I'm thinking about somebody that actually, when they told me their story or told me about the things that were happening after their spouse passed, it seemed like it was whole tendencies in a way, or whole behavior.
The word for the day is wid-hoe.
Right, and I'm not calling you. I'm not calling you that, by the way. No. And I'm not even saying that's anything bad. My friend Breeze says a thing. He said he's pro hoe, choose hoe, vote hoe, whatever. If what you want to do that. You know what I mean?
He said pro hoe.
Pro hoe.
Oh, pro hoe.
Choose hoe. He said that. That's what you want to do. Do what you want to do. I'm just saying that's what people say. Like you gotta. They do it to take, control of something. You know what I mean? So.
I can see that though.
Yeah.
I wanted to just be with one person though.
I just want to be with one person.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat.
Right, but back to dating, I think you should.
Wow.
If you do go through that phase, I think like you gotta at some point reel yourself in, like
Come
what
on
you
back.
what you really looking at, what you really looking for. You know what I mean? Like, are you
It's real Jezebel.
are you gonna? I hate this dude. Are you really gonna be? Are you really gonna be out there? Is that what you really want to do, or are you just doing it because you're in the moment and you're in a grief moment? Really, you know what I mean? Like,
When does it stop?
when does what stop?
The wid-hoes.
I don't know. 'Cause I'm not one.
We're gonna do another show on that.
Do not take a picture of me and then put a caption with it on top because I am not that.
Wikipedia.
That's gonna be on our website.
Wikipedia.
Wid-ho.
Wikipedia.
Wid-hoes. Wid-hoes. And pro-hoes.
Bros.
Vote hoes.
Vote hoes. Man. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. No disrespect to the whole community.
Yeah, I
This
support
show is
that. Do what
everybody.
you do.
Hoes.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, I don't even think hoe is a bad. We get on the tangent. Hoe is not even a bad word, really.
No.
Yeah, that's what you do. Do what
We
you
don't
do
love
with
them,
your
though.
body. People that have
We
power
don't-
to take
we don't
control.
love
of their body. We don't love them.
No.
I do suggest that loving them would be bad for your health.
Yeah.
But typically, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
You know,
And they don't love you back.
Right.
No, they don't let you back.
Oh
They don't
my
let you back.
gosh.
Oh my goodness
So-
gracious.
Be careful of the widows. For real. They don't love you and leave you. Yeah. I used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough from the peanut gallery.
Yo, the funny thing is we do this all the time. Like we start singing a song and then it turns to something else.
Gosh.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was-
You ain't throw no runs in it, though.
No, that's what we doing. Is that what we doing tonight? That's how you feel.
Oh my God. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dating.
yeah.
All right.
Dating.
Let's bring it back in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Does
Dating.
grief still look sexy on you?
Man, look. I'm trying to get it back. I'm trying to bring everything back.
Can I bring sexy back?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So with the dating, again, somehow we got lost in the wid-hoes. At what point? At what point did you feel like you was ready to allow somebody in that space? Like, did you kind of force yourself to do it, or and I ain't talking about the widowing part. That's a different space.
Yeah.
That's just pleasure. But I'm talking about into that space to where, I'm sitting with this person watching movies or going to the movies, and to that point where they're kind of really getting into that more relationship type things space. But not necessarily a relationship. Again,
Right.
Because
it's just a dating space.
yeah, dating to where we actually, it ain't just me coming over in the middle of the night and doing this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we actually going out. We hanging out and on that type of level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know that experience can be different. For a woman versus a man, because I know me personally, it's like I'm sometimes kind of weary of how much I do, because if I know I'm not feeling you like that, I don't want to let off the wrong vibes. But on the flip side, it's like my circle is real small, and like, believe it or not, up in Charlotte, I probably have more female friends than anything.
Right.
I don't know why, but so it's like, you can see me hanging out with a female before you see me hanging out with a guy, but they,
Right.
we might just really just be friends. But when you hanging out with a female, and again, you're letting them into that space a little bit beyond the friend zone, not even talk about anything physical. It's like, what did you feel anything different that, I guess said, okay, I'm ready to do this? Or, again, did you feel like you maybe forced yourself, like, okay, it's time that I, just try to do this and see how I feel? Like, you have anything on that?
I'll be honest and say that for me, it started out, honestly, a few months after he passed. And for me, it wasn't about like feeling comfortable and wanting to go and date. I think it was just like, okay, what am I supposed to do now?
Right.
Because I am so young, and it's like, at that point, I wanted somebody outside of my world because my circle is so small, and I sat and talked to the same people every day. Like, I needed something different, and so I think that's what I was like on the search to find. And luckily at the time, the person I choose to bring in that space was was older than me for one, and like gentle in regards to understanding. He had a lot of loss himself, not as far as like a spouse or anything, but more like sister, brother, things like that. And so I think that would help me cope a little bit better or make it a little bit easier. Plus, he was a very spiritual person. And so that was something that I was working on at the time. So I felt like that definitely helped ease me into it. When I look back on it now, almost 4 years later, I'll say that maybe that was good just for that time that I needed it. But, the feelings that I thought I felt, I think could have been a mixture between, being vulnerable, but also, wanting to be loved and wanting to love somebody. Like you said, I feel like Rob taught me how to love again. Like he taught me how to, love somebody, and to, when I love you, I love you. Like I take care of, like we together, we in it. So, being able to give that gift back or do it, with somebody else. But so that's pretty much it for me. Yeah. What about y'all?
I think mine was like accidental. Like it wasn't anything I said, oh yeah, I'm ready to jump back out there. Just, I have a lot of female friends that are really just friends. But like, so they would like invite me out like dinner or whatever, stuff like that. And then it was just like, okay, maybe I can need to get comfortable being around women again. Because like there was a point where I didn't feel comfortable being around a woman, period, like at all. Like not even romantically, like anybody that wasn't like family. Yeah. Friend, I just wasn't comfortable. And so it was a point where it's like, well, maybe I should just be open to like, talking to people or whatever, just to get comfortable being around women. You know what I mean? Because it was just a real thing. And so just kind of like that spawned into like going on like a date here or a date there or hanging out and that kind of thing. So it still was like awkward and a little weird for me, but it was something I did just to kind of put myself in a different space, you know what I mean, and not to feel like I'm at home all the time and like just crying or in my own bubble, but it's getting out of that scenery, So so in a way, you could say like it was a mechanism to not be by myself, not to be enclosed or whatever. So so yeah, it definitely happened accidentally. I never really pictured that happened, especially as soon as it was, and it wasn't super soon. It was like some months after, but it still was like, okay, this is weird, but maybe it's what I need right now. Maybe it's the timing that it needs to happen for me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. Going back to one thing you said, I think you said something about somebody, I guess, kind of on the outside of the situation. Not somebody that's actually like being, I guess, a close friend or something like that. It made it easier because it made it easier for me, like having somebody that didn't know my wife personally, somebody that I didn't even know, what I'm saying, that was totally outside the situation. It made it easier for me to kind of open up a little bit because for one, I didn't have the feelings of the guilt, you know what I'm saying, and for two, it's like, I guess I didn't feel like I had to try to be, somebody I wasn't. I don't know, how to really go explain that, but I just feel like I could just be open. I could be open about how I felt. I could be, I'm open about all that because this person was totally outside of everything, and I didn't have to worry about any of that other type of stuff. So it definitely made it easy. I don't know at what point I really felt like I was ready because I was just kind of just taking everything how it came. Yeah. But as far as like, I just knew certain people that when they said something to me, I just got this feeling like, nah, I don't know if I want to pursue that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
You know, just something about it just didn't make me want to pursue it or get to know him more. I don't know what it was. It was just, intuition, I guess. Just said, and then, the people that I did or whatever, it's like, okay, I didn't get that feeling, so okay, let me see what else you talking about. But definitely, it's definitely an experience. It's definitely something that's, you go through a lot of different emotions. For those out there that's watching this or listening to this, that's kind of at this stage, and you're trying to figure out, like, am I ready for dating, or and you're getting these these people coming at you that's trying to holler at you, and you like wondering like, where is this coming from? Like, it's a lot. The only advice I can give is like, do what's best for you, when you want it, how you want it. You know what I'm saying? And you really can't worry about what nobody else thinks. And as far as your significant other, I mean, as hard as it sounds, it's just like you got to come to come to reality and understand, like, they are gone. You know what I'm saying? They are gone. You got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself for the feelings that you may have, the temptations you may have.
Right.
You got to forgive yourself ahead of time, because at the end of the day, you got to live, and you got to do more of what makes you happy or what makes you feel good outside of, again, you don't want to do nothing harmful for yourself,
right.
Whether it be, doing anything physical. You want to make sure you protect yourself, and you definitely don't want to get caught up in like drugs and alcohol and things like that. But you want to do what makes you feel good. You want to do what makes you happy, because the hard lesson I think that we all learn from this is that life is short.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Life is short. And we know that when we experience something like this, something as traumatic as this, we also know that if we don't find something that makes us feel good and makes us happy, it can become detrimental to our health and to us as well. You know what I'm saying? Because once you start spiraling down because you can't come out that slump. You gotta find something to lighten the load. Because if not, it will affect your health, and you'll find yourself in a hospital, or something happening to you, because your body and all the chemicals from that, the negative feelings and stuff, is just weighing your body down. But yeah, I mean, you just got to do what makes you feel good, what makes you happy. Do it when you're ready, and how you're ready. And you really can't worry about nobody else. And the other thing I would say is, like, just be honest with whoever you dealing with.
Definitely.
If you gonna be a wid-hoe, let them know. Look, I'm a wid-hoe. You know what I'm saying? I'm
transparent.
I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you for 5 minutes.
Lust.
Yep, and I'm gonna leave until I'm ready to do that again. Just lock the door on my way out. I don't, I'm not staying. I don't want to go to church.
His face is so
no,
serious.
we're not going to church.
We're not going to church.
No, we ain't going to church on Sunday. We're not going to the movies. I'm not going over to your aunt cookout house. That's how it's going to be. But you got to be honest to that person and let them know, like, this is what it is. This is how I feel. Now, it's up to them after that point, on what they do with it. But at least if you're honest, you can avoid a lot of other issues, and you can avoid being in a situation where you add a different type of guilt and stuff like that because you wasn't honest with somebody.
Absolutely.
Did y'all have anything?
I think that's pretty much it. Block the noise, I'd say, is the biggest thing. Yeah, because I'd say that listening to other people can really get to your head and kind of ruin something that could be worthwhile. So
definitely.
Blocking the noise, and love yourself first. Find time to realize who you are now after the loss of your spouse, and that is so much more important before even considering the whole dating thing, because you need to realize who you are and confidently be able to show the person who you are, to move forward. There are good days. There are bad days.
Right.
We always call grief it's like waves. Some of them are really high and some of them are very low. So just depending on the day, and the time, anniversaries,
right,
dates of deaths, things of that are meaningful, and you don't know how you're gonna feel on that particular day,
right,
or just a day that you just decide to wake up and realize that this is your new reality.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you think about all of those things and try to learn the new you before moving forward. Now, when you've been a wid-hoe, I don't really know if that really matters.
Y'all keep going
but
back
once
to
you seriously start dating, I think that's very important.
Yeah. I always liken when I talk about grief and loss, especially losing a spouse, to like growing up all over again, because it's like you have to learn like yourself all over again, right? And so in anything that you're doing, when you're like growing as a child, like you're crawling first and then you're walking. So I see kind of like the dating phase as you kind of like figuring out how to crawl again, and then when you're ready to explore that more, you're starting to walk. You're starting to walk into your future. So it's okay to do that. It's okay to crawl. It's okay to figure out because when you're crawling, you don't know where you're going. You kind of like you over here, you over there. So it's okay to do that. You know
be
what I'm saying?
safe crawling.
Yeah, be safe crawling. I'm not saying crawl into things or people. I'm just saying
crawl into things or people.
I'm not saying that part. I'm just saying it's okay to observe the terrain. You know, it's okay to crawl and figure out what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then once you get your leg strength right, once you kind of get a better sense of who you are now, like you can start crawling into that whole dating realm and being romantic with somebody. You know, so it's okay to do that. It's okay to grow. You have to grow again and become a new person.
Yeah.
A person, not a widow. All right, so I think that's it for the day. Everybody know what the new word of the day is.
Wid-hoe.
Yeah. But I think it was a good conversation. Again, if you're looking at this right now or listening, the information is below. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Young Black and Widow.
Yeah.
But reach out to us. We want to hear, what you guys think, if you're going through the situation, let us know what you're going through. If you're on the other end of the situation where you've actually started a relationship with someone that's a widow or widower, we want to hear your side of the story.
Sure.
And let us know what you think about this vlog podcast so far. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know what you want to hear. Like I said, all the information's here just to reach out to us. We appreciate y'all coming through and checking us out. We'll see you on next time with another topic. Again, we hope this is helpful for you. And every show, I want to try to state that if you're in a situation after losing a significant other and you feel like, you're hopeless and you don't want to go on, please talk to somebody. Yes. There's suicide lines and things of that nature, and I'll make sure we have it up there after the show. But please make sure that you talk to somebody because, you have to live. You have to live for those that lost, and you have to live for those that love you. So don't allow yourself to go in that hole. Don't listen to those voices. Just know that you got to live. You have a right to live, and you need to live. And talk to somebody. Reach out to us. We'll talk to you too. So definitely keep those that love you around you, and just keep the good energy around you. I can't say that things change and it necessarily just goes away, but it gets more manageable. It does get better. You will always probably cry, but it does get better, and you will smile again. So on that note, we appreciate y'all checking us out. This been Young Black and Widow.
Yes.
I'm your boy Shar.
I'm Chanel.
I'm Angelo.
And we'll holler at you.
All right.
Peace.
This is just how I wanna live. 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 This is just how I wanna live. Just how I wanna live. Just how I wanna live. Just how I wanna live.
I done beat the odds. You see the scar Grinding hard, I'd rather eat than starve. I done lost my heart, it's bullshit, she died. I don't look to the sky, I just look inside. Did I swallow my pride? Kiss my